Yo, what's going on guys, Arekkz here, welcome back to another Monster Hunter World video, and in today's video, as promised in my farm video that I uploaded earlier this week, I said we're going to be taking a tour around Astera, the hub town, and that is exactly what we're doing today. Astera is the place you'll be spending most of your time when you're not out hunting. It's where you'll go to buy items, to craft gear, to speak to various NPCs to progress the story, and just do a load of other stuff like that. It is basically your downtime area between your hunts. And while we have seen different gameplay snippets of different parts of Astera from various different videos, some from me, some from Capcom, what we haven't really had a chance to do is just take a general walk around the town and see how things fit together, see what other stuff there is. So that's exactly what we're doing today. If you do enjoy this, then a like would be super appreciated. Comment down below if you have any questions. But let's get started. So first things first, this is the entrance to Astera. You walk down this little bridge, this little walkway, and you'll of course see the central, what I like to call kind of the bazaar or the marketplace, the general sort of shopping area. Bear in mind, Astera is kind of partly built out of the wreckage of some of these ships, some of the different research groups that have made their way over to here over the coming years. But the very first thing I want to turn my attention to is this chap up here. He is basically your general vendor or your provisions vendor. This is where you'll go to buy simple things like potions, antidotes, small barrels, trap tools, all those usual items you will then go through on a regular basis. This is also where you go to get some of your bowgun ammo, some of your bow coatings, anything like that. This is essentially your general vendor. So if we then turn to the left, we walk over here, this is the research center. Now this is a place that I can't show you guys the actual vendor screens, but I have spoken about. If you guys saw my 10 features video, I'll link it down below if you haven't seen it, but essentially this is where you go to pick up optional quests. The quests in the past, things like gathering 10 bugs or 10 ore or 10 mushrooms. Those quests that in the past weren't especially interesting, those sort of side quest things, they are now completely optional, and they are also things you can do at the same time as main quests. You can pick them up as bounties, and you can have up to 6 of them on the go at the same time. So while you're out there hunting, I don't know, your Rathalos, your Anjanath, your Baroth, you can then also be gathering herbs, gathering mushrooms, gathering bugs at the same time and ticking them both off together. This is also where you'll go to pick up investigations, which are your optional quests, the things like slay 10 Jagras, slay 15 Vespoids, or go and, I don't know, capture a Kuruyaku. Those kind of quests that, again, don't actually advance the story, but are of course there for you to do. They are also where you'll pick them up from here. And this is finally where you go to complete the village request, things where you basically need to hand in X number of items to either unlock a facility or improve another aspect of the town. So that is the resource center. Moving to the left of that, you of course have your quest board. Now bear in mind, quests in Monster Hunter World can be picked up in a couple of different ways. You can traditionally go to a quest board, so if you want to place your quest here, you want to begin it, you can then pick it from there. And similarly, if you are joining someone's quest and you're in a multiplayer hub, then you can also pick your quests up from here. Quests are of course broken down into 4 main categories. The assigned ones are essentially your key quests. These are the ones that will advance the story. These are the ones you have to complete in order to progress. You then have the optional quests, which are just, more hunting quests, more things that you can do, more things you can kind of use to farm parts and whatnot, but they won't actually advance the story. You have the investigations, which are the ones that you activate or you basically pick from the resource center. And once you've done that, they then go into the investigation section. And then as and when event quests become available, you can go to the event section there. So one such example would be the Aloy quest, the Horizon Zero Dawn armor. That will be considered an event quest, and once it's live, you will then go to the event section in order to participate in that. Moving on from there, down to the left, we then have the research corner, as I like to call it. The very first thing you have down here is the monster platform. If you've captured any monsters or you completed any quests, then upon returning, sometimes you will see the monster here. If it's a capture quest, I think it's always the monster you just captured. If it's a hunting quest, I believe they sometimes appear there. Sometimes there's a little kind of discrepancy. I'm not exactly sure what the conditions are exactly, but the point is you will see monsters here. You'll see different NPCs down there studying them, which is pretty cool to see. But if you then go up the stairs, you can speak to the actual ecological research dude, and this is basically where you go to either find out the progress on your research levels, thanks to interactions with monster tracks and monster kind of mucus and other parts around the world. And you can also take a look at the actual field guide if you want to learn more about a monster, learn just kind of a bit about it, learn about the weaknesses, the drop rates, things like that. Moving on from there, you then have the farm. Now, of course, I did do a detailed video on this, so if you guys want to see more about this, you can check that video linked down below. But this is basically where you go if you want to multiply certain consumable items, things like herbs, honey, bugs, mushrooms, anything like that. You put them in here, you put fertilizer on them, you leave them on the go, you go off and do some quests, and you come back later on and grab your rewards. If we then spin around from there and walk towards the center of the sort of marketplace area, this is also where I believe the melding pot is going to be. You guys might have seen this from some screenshots from the official Japanese Twitter account. It wasn't here when I was playing, so I'm going to assume that may well be tied to, say, story progression or a villager request where once you complete it, maybe the melting pot gets added. So for the time being, it wasn't there, but this is basically a place you'll go to in order to craft consumable items, bowgun ammo, and later on, decorations. Decorations, of course, being gems you put into your armor to bolster certain skills, so it will definitely be a useful thing. You will basically put certain items in, get other items out, and that should be located in the center of the town. Walking a little bit further forward, I'm not going to go too far here because this is a sort of story-related thing, but basically this is where the chief commander is. Whenever you have story missions, you will group up there, you'll gather there, that's where a lot of your cutscenes will take place, and you can go there to get briefings about the next part of the story. To the left of that, however, is where you'll find your first house. Now, I say first house because there will be multiple houses. Now, again, I'm not actually allowed to show you guys gameplay from within this. There have been a couple of screenshots, once again, from the Japanese Twitter account, so I'll put those up here. But basically, this is your first house. This is the one you will start in. You're actually sharing the room with what appears to be the Ace Cadet. Later on during the game, you will be able to move houses to different locations, and you can actually have the freedom to jump between them if, say, you, for some reason, prefer the first house. You're not forced to just upgrade later on. You can just, jump between them as you see fit. Main reasons for going here, of course, you can go here to change your equipment, change your Palico's equipment, to sleep, save, to go to the training room, and also the other new thing is that if you catch bugs or creatures with your net whilst you're out and about in the open world, you can then release them into your house as pets. Now, this first house, you can only release one. I don't know whether you can release more as you go up and get bigger and better houses, but it is still pretty cool because it means you have like another pet in your house. If we then move back over to here, this is essentially your lift. You can use this to quickly get around the hub town. You can walk around everywhere if you want to, and in fact, we're going to do that right now. We're going to go up the stairs instead, but you can basically use this to jump between certain different points, the gathering hub, just outside the Smithy, also to the Canteen, and a few other places like that. So it's pretty useful. Of course, this is the Smithy. This is where you go to craft all your weapons, but you guys have seen plenty from this already, so I'm going to skip past that, walk around the back, and go up here, and this will basically lead you to the gathering hub. Again, a place I can't go in just yet. There have been a few more screenshots shared from the official Japanese Twitter account that I'll put here, but this is basically where you go for multiplayer stuff. So if you want to be hunting with other people, going up here, the lobby itself supports up to 16 people, so you can see up to 15 other people alongside yourself. If you are in this space, you can then go to the arm wrestling barrel and have little battles with people. You can go and sit down at tables, you can eat food, you can go on your different quests. You can also go here to form your squads, which is like your mini guilds. Loads of other things like that, and you can then basically interact with people, set up your quests, and go off on your multiplayer hunts. But since I can't go in there, we'll keep that brief. Spinning around, there is a location up here. I have no idea what this is for. There didn't appear to be any purpose, so it may well be story related. It could just literally be a place for you to go up and look over the scenery, because it's a pretty nice view, but I walked up there and there didn't appear to be anything at that time. So going back down from there, the only other main place to visit is, of course, the Canteen. This is where you'll go to eat your meals before you go on quests. Of course, very important for those of you guys that are new to Monster Hunter. Eating meals before you go on quests gives you different buffs. Sometimes it will give you a bigger health bar, more stamina, other things like an increase to your attack, your defense. Those buffs only remain until you die, but they are still useful. Although, that being said, if you forget to eat before you go out, you can also do it at the base camp in the map, so pretty useful. Plus, the actual chef here, the Meowscular chef, he is basically a massive ripped cat who speaks in puns. Incredible work. I absolutely love these puns. It's one of the things that you kind of always get in Monster Hunter, but there is stellar work on this one, so definitely pay attention to him whenever he's speaking, because you're going to get a laugh out of that one. But this is basically, you can speak to him behind the table if you're not looking for food, because you can also, by speaking to any NPC around the town, you can also pick up additional optional quests, so it pays to take the time to actually go and visit and speak to some of them. But for the time being, that is pretty much it. That is a look at the town. Of course, over by the Canteen is also your handler, so you can speak to her to get quests. So you do have kind of a number of different options. You can either go to the quest board, you can go to the handler. There's also another quest board outside the Smithy. There's a quest board in the gathering hub. So there are loads of different locations, so you don't always have to just teleport to one fixed place to start quests. You can do it from a number of different sources. But that's pretty much it. That's a quick look around Astera based on the time that I had playing with the game. Of course, from what we've seen, it may well be that the space evolves or kind of more vendors work their way in as you go through, and there are the different housing spaces that I have yet to see, but it is a pretty cool space. I like the look of it, I like the kind of layout and whatnot, I like the multi-tiered layout as well, so it is a very cool space. But for the time being, that's pretty much it. If you guys haven't already done so, don't forget to enter the Xbox One X console giveaway. That will be closing this week, so you've got a few more days to enter that if you guys haven't done so already. There will also be another Monster Hunter video this weekend, so stay tuned for that. It's either going to be on the bowgun upgrades or something else, because according to the Capcom TV livestream, there should be a sort of ecology video dropping tomorrow, so I'm going to pay attention to that, and I'll keep you guys posted. So there is one more video coming this week, and of course I'll have more for you guys next week too. But until then, thanks for watching, take it easy, catch you next time, peace out.